Go. 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 Go! Go! Douche. Yeah, loud pipes save lives. They also wake up morons. Monster is a little cranky. Not sure why that is, but probably because I haven't ridden it in 6 months. Well, let's go blow the carbon out of it, I guess. Anyway, Leon Loco here, again. Hi everyone. This is in fact the first ride of 2017. Yep. And I'm out here in early January, going for a ride on the street. Because, well, what the fuck, why not? Because I haven't been on a bike since my Christmas video on the CR500. And that one doesn't really count. Because I just, you know, pissed around in the woods a little bit behind my shop. Didn't actually go anywhere because the roads are covered in snow and ice and I didn't want to actually die. This is the first day in a while where it's been, well, decent weather. I don't want to say good because it's still kind of rainy, overcasty, fucking winter bullshit. But better than it was. It is above freezing, for example. It's only 38 degrees, which is, it feels like August when you've been in like, you know, in the teens for weeks and just sitting in your office, staring at your bikes, staring at the outside, trying to put these two things together, and it's just not happening. So yeah, first ride of 2017. Got a bunch of new subscribers in over the Christmas holiday, and I'd like to say hello to all you people. Thanks for subscribing, I certainly do appreciate it. And to people who've been watching me for a while, well, this is the first ride of a new year of Leon Loco general silliness and such. So, yeah. I'm sure I'll get someone in the comments, now that I'm getting a fair number of comments, who will say, "Hey, you idiot! Why are you riding your motorcycle in the cold in the Northeast when you could be in California with us, where it's 94 degrees and we have all this sunshine? Yeah, yeah." To which I say, fuck you. I mean, nothing against people in California. You know, I love you guys. There's a lot of motovloggers out there who I like very much. But yeah, fuck you. No one cares how awesome your weather is. Least of all me. Because when you live in an actual climate that is not a desert, you have to deal with, you know, somewhere between 2 and 6 months of the year just sucking for motorcycles. And that's life. You know, I'm okay with it because I like having, you know, trees where the leaves occasionally come off, and I like, you know, a good winter snowscape occasionally, and I just like it. You know, I lived in California for some years, and well, there is a lot to like, there's also a lot not to like. And on balance, if I'm in my rip-off Jeremy Clarkson mode, I would have to say I prefer living somewhere where it occasionally gets cold, even though that means I have to come out here with like a minus a million degree wind chill to do a video. That's okay. You know, it is what it is. And I'm not going to be a pussy. I'm not just going to throw my bike in the fucking garage until May, because I like to ride, even when it's a bit sketchy weather-wise. So here I am, going for a ride. Trying to not die. Should be okay, because I mean there's still a little bit of snow here and there, but really nothing on the road. Of course, someone like that could always cross into oncoming traffic and fucking kill me. I mean, that would ruin my day. That would also be the last video of 2017, so let's try to not make that happen. Anywho, I came out today because I wanted to have a little chat, a little yak, a little what, about a topic. I've actually talked about this before a little bit, and that is running from the cops and cops in general. And why are we going to talk about the cops? Well, because lately I actually started following a couple of really interesting cops who are also motovloggers, or at least vloggers. Mike the Cop, he's really cool guy, and Officer 401, yes, Officer 401. I like the cut of these particular officers' jibs, and if you're the kind of biker who hates cops, or even like me, just, you're kind of, it depends on the cop. Some cops you really like, and some cops you're just going to get fucked in the ass for no reason. It is worth checking these gentlemen out, because they are the kind of cops you want to run into on the street, because they got into policing for the right reasons. And pro tip, the right reasons are helping people, and they're very laid back. I've watched quite a few of their videos, and a lot of their more humorous stories are how they just are human fucking beings doing a job that has certain demands. They have to uphold the law. They can't just let everyone go. But they also, like I said, are humans. They put a degree of humanity into their work, so it's not like, you have broken the law, you must go to jail, you are now a felon because reasons. They don't really do that unless you make them. And those are the best kinds of cops ever. I wish all cops were like that. Anyway, both these guys are, I'm not sure if Mike the Cop has done a video about running from the cops, but I know Officer 401 has, which I just watched, and yeah, he had some good points, and I thought I could add some good points to it. Who knows if he'll see this, but if he does, hello. And thank you for those of us bikers who don't want to see you when we're being dicks, but are glad you're out there all the same. I have a thin blue line flag on the back of my helmet, not because I'm a bootlicker, and not because I expect special treatment, but I put that there after the Texas thing, because, you know what, shooting cops because they're cops makes you a fucking piece of shit. So that's why that's there. Yeah, so I guess I'm kind of middle of the road biker-wise when it comes to cops. And I've had cops who, really fucked me over. They were being dicks just to be dicks. They went fishing, they, in some cases, violated the law in fabricating offenses and crap like that, and generally made my life a fucking hell. Cost me, tens of thousands of dollars in one case in legal fees to get it explained to a judge exactly what a fucking ass nozzle this guy was, because, judges will take the word of an officer over yours every fucking time, unless you have some pretty goddamn compelling evidence that, nope, they're actually assholes, which I did. And fortunately, the system worked for me, and Mr. Asshole Cop, I don't know if he got fired, but he definitely got stuck behind a desk for a good long while. But for every cop that has been a complete ass nozzle to me, probably 8 to 10 have been just generally understanding, nice human beings. They've either let me go, given me a warning, or written a ticket down when they had to give me one because I was being a dick and people were calling and such. And treated me with, professionally. They didn't treat me like an asshole because I'm on a bike. They didn't treat me, they didn't say, hey, I think you were trying to run from me. Like, no, dude, just fuck off. So my experience with the cops, on the whole, has been a positive one. Even when they're, nailing me for shit that I admittedly have done. But it's a rather long way of getting to the point I wanted to make, which was running from the cops. Some guys are like, I never do that. That's just bad. That makes you a bad person, and you're going to kill someone, blah, blah, blah. And to their point, a lot of cops, especially Officer 401, had some things to say about sport bike riders along those lines. It's like, yeah, if you go and crash into, some soccer mom at 130 miles an hour while you're running from the cops, no one's going to have a good day. Which actually I don't think is entirely accurate, and I'll get into that in a second, but I have run from the cops. Not frequently. I'm not, one of these guys you see who are like standing up backwards on their bike, flipping off the cops, in a pack of 100 other bikes, that ain't me. I don't want to be there. I don't want to deal with that. Because then you are gonna get just fucked in the ass, and you've earned it. But occasionally, I have been going very fast on a bike. Like really fast. I'm not going to name numbers, but well into the triple digits. In environments where I thought it was safe to do this, and I said, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do, and I want to, and fuck the police, pretty much. And 3 or 4 times I've done this, and came upon a cop who was, either doing a speed trap or just out in patrol and saw me blast by him at what can only be called a comical velocity, and came after me. And I said, yeah, I'm not stopping for that. See ya. Pinned it open, a lot of miles an hour, and ran, and I got away. And that was that, and I'm sure they were not happy. I know most all of them pursued me for, I wasn't really paying attention. Once you're running, if you're looking behind you, you're doing it wrong. And that was what it was. And I thought one of the things I might bring to the table from the bike side, if any cops see this, is my mentality for deciding to run from you guys. And as I said, I really don't do it often, and there has to be a really good reason for me to make that judgment call, because if I get caught, I'm going to jail, or getting shot, potentially. So I don't want to be in that situation unless the possible benefits way outweigh the possible downsides. And you could argue, yeah, well, getting killed is a pretty substantial downside, and that's true, but when you get into my mindset of why I do this very occasionally, maybe it'll make a bit more sense. So the few times I've run from the cops, I'll just go through my criteria for why I ran from the cops. And none of this is on video, by the way, because I'm not stupid. One of them was, but it got deleted immediately. Because incriminating yourself is dumb, boys and girls. Don't put that shit on YouTube. You're just going to go to jail and get fucking ass raped by some guy. Anywho, so I have to be going to jail anyway for me to contemplate running from the cops. If I'm doing 80 and a 45, which on a bike, especially a sport bike, really ain't that difficult. That's the middle of second gear. I'm just gonna pull over, because around where I live, anything 40 over and less generally will not get you put in the clink, as long as you're not a complete cop bag to the cop and you don't make them chase you. So I'll just say, fuck it. I'll take the ticket. I'll pull over. I'll be nice. More often than not, they're gonna at least reduce it, if not give me a warning, because I've not been an asshole to them, which is one thing a lot of the cops have said. It's like most people talk themselves into tickets, and that's completely true. I try to not be one of those whenever possible. So, God, the roads are covered in shit still. That's a bit sketchy. So I have to be going to jail anyway, which means, a really comical amount of speed for most people. So if you tell someone who, drives their frickin' Prius to work every morning that you were doing 100 and, let's say, 50 miles an hour on a sport bike on the highway, they'll say, "You maniac, you're gonna kill yourself and kill 1,000 other people, and you're a domestic terrorist," and blah, 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 blah. Which for most people who ride sport bikes know that is complete bullshit. If you're smart, if you're experienced, if you do it in an area that minimizes risk, 150 on a sport bike isn't really a big deal. So, yeah, I've done that, allegedly. For the purpose of entertainment, I've done that. Other people have done that, I'm sure. In some cases, they post videos of them doing it on YouTube, because they're idiots. So it happens. And in the vast majority of cases, people don't die because of it. Sometimes they do. And cops will tell you, Yeah, well, if you'd seen the shit I've seen, yeah, I know. Your job is to sweep up the guts, or at least, stand there while someone else does it and divert traffic. And I get that, and you've seen some horrid shit, but you cops also have to realize you're seeing, like, the top 5% of fucking retards who could not spam themselves. You're not seeing me, because I'm not spamming myself. You're not seeing the majority of bikers, I would say, because we're not spamming ourselves. Ooh, ice. That's reassuringly fucking terrifying. Let's go faster. That's what you want to do when there's ice in the road. As though to make my point. Anyway, so a lot of people on sport bikes can go really fucking fast, fairly safely, and some cops realize that. A lot don't. Just like some people realize that who are not riders, but a lot don't. So, long way of saying, a lot of people will make the same judgment call that I've done occasionally, which is deep into the triple digits on a sport bike on an open highway at 3 in the morning. Really, the only risk is to me. So that's the first thing. It's like, but if I get caught going those speeds, it's very unlikely I'm not going to jail. So that's my first criteria for running from the cops. I have to be going to jail, no matter how sweet and cheerful I am. Because then, I'm going to jail anyway. The only difference is, am I going to jail for, speed in excess and probably reckless, or am I going to jail for speed in excess, reckless, and evading? That's really the only difference. And the upshot is, if I get away, I'm not getting shit. I'm going home and fucking the girlfriend. So that's a big part of my criteria. In fact, it's the go, no go for me. It's like, am I going to jail or not? If not, I'm going to play with the rules, even if it's a really horrible ticket. You fuck it, give me the ticket, I'll have my day in court, maybe I can get this argued down a little bit, and life goes on. But if I'm going to jail anyway, it's like, yeah, and all my other criteria are met, I'm probably going to run from your ass. Other criteria. Where am I? Am I in an area I know? Because if I don't really want to be doing 150 miles an hour around the next corner, only to find there's a traffic light there with a stalled semi-truck in the middle of it. Because then I'm going to die horribly. And nobody wants that, least of all me. So I have to know the area, which is kind of risky because a lot of cops in my area also know me. One thing that's nice is I have a lot of bikes, so I'm kind of hard to pigeonhole, and there are certain things I won't get into that give me a lot of plausible deniability, but I will generally only run if I'm reasonably close to home, or on an open highway somewhere where I know it's going to remain an open highway for a good long while. So I have to know what I'm getting into, at least enough to, make it an acceptable risk. Then I have to know, a quick, overview of the condition of my bike. It's like, how am I on gas? Because nobody wants to get that wonderful felony evading conviction because they ran out of gas. That's just gonna, it'll look great on YouTube, but yeah, it's gonna fucking suck. So, do I have enough gas to do 150 miles an hour for the next 10 miles? Yep, okay. Or no, in which case, no. And then I don't. But if I do, okay, then everything is still go. We are go for lunch. There's a cop right ahead of me. Ha! So I guess I won't pass all these people across the double yellow and around a blind corner. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, cops. Calm down. Put the nightstick down. Go back to the donut. There you go. So, I have to know the bike's in good shape, and I religiously maintain all my bikes, so like not having brakes that don't work and having tires that are worn out never happens. I don't ride a bike that's unsafe ever. So if all of those things are relatively in my favor, I'll say, yeah, okay, it's probably worth doing this. And then where I'm headed also has a fair bit to do with it, because where I live in the Northeast, you're near a bunch of different states more often than not. So you can get to like a state border in some cases in 5 minutes. So if that's a modifier. So if that's in my favor, if I'm like 10 miles away from a state line, oh fuck yeah, see ya. Because then you got to call. You can't really pursue me into another state. you have to call ahead, and they have to get someone out there to start looking for some dumbass on a bike running from them, and so on and so forth. And that again tilts the odds in my favor of getting away and not having to do anything particularly idiotic to do it. But yeah, if all those things are lined up just so, I will run from the cops, because I don't want to go to jail because I was going fast on a sport bike in a perfectly safe environment because reasons. I know it's illegal, and I realize cops have a job to do, and that's one of their jobs, but I'd rather take my chances on not going to jail and potentially killing myself. You know, shit happens. Deer jump out in front of you at 150 miles an hour, you're fucking dead. Some blue hair, you know, runs a red light 150 miles an hour, you're dead. But to me, it's like, okay, that's worth it. You know, it's still worth it to not go to jail, to not, you know, quadruple my insurance premiums, not probably have my license suspended for a year, all this kind of crap. So I'll do it. But if any of those go, no-go things say no-go, I won't. I'll just, even if I'm getting arrested, it's like, okay, I'll try to sweet-talk the guy. You know, I'll be honest and apologetic and say, yeah, I know what I did. Please don't send me to jail and tow my bike and destroy it. That's never actually happened. The one time where I was going really fucking fast, you could say arguably running from the cops, after about 3-4 miles of this, the conditions changed quite a bit. So he definitely knew I was taking off on him, but the conditions changed to where I was no longer comfortable with it. I'm not going to get into details, but one of my no-goes said no-go. So I said, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. So I pulled over, you know, took my helmet off, took gloves off, shut the bike off, and waited for him. And his first question, as I imagine would be the case for a cop if you were chasing a sport bike and they stopped, is why the hell did you stop? And my answer was, well, this reason, which was very likely going to result in me being dead if I kept doing this. And he said, that's, you know, I didn't expect you to be reasonable or sane with the speed you were going, but that's a reasonable, sane answer. So I'm going to cut you a break. And he gave me a really comically big fine, but let me go. Didn't tow the bike, didn't arrest me when he damn well could have. And, you know, life went on for both of us. So that just goes to show you, a lot of cops, even when you're being a dick, will give you the benefit of the doubt if they can establish you're a reasonable person who is at least unlikely to go back to doing exactly what you were just doing while still in their jurisdiction. That's certainly been my experience anyway. And also, one other thing I wanted to address that a lot of cops bring up when they're talking about this, at least Officer 401 did when I was watching his video, is, you know, if you go and hit someone on a sport bike doing 130 miles an hour, you're gonna kill them. And I have to disagree with that. I mean, I am an engineer, you know, I have a above average understanding of physics. And when you have a 400-pound motorcycle going 150 miles an hour, say, into the back of a 4,000-pound sedan or SUV or, you know, minivan or what have you, the bike is just going to explode into confetti. The rider is very likely just going to turn into a meat bag. And the people in the, you know, any modern car, any car made within like the last 20 years that has airbags and crumple zones and some engineering to keep them, you know, alive, they're maybe going to get whiplash at worst, and usually not even that. I mean, barring anything weird like someone pulling out into an intersection with like a 30-year-old minivan with no side crash, you know, impact protection, and a really heavy sport bike like a Hayabusa or something doing like 180 into the side of them, there really isn't any likelihood of anyone in the vehicle getting seriously injured. And I know some cops have probably seen some shit and they'll disagree with me on that, and that's fine. But again, you guys are arguing with a rounding error, okay? The vast majority, and I mean like 99% of collisions that involve a bike and a car at speed, the bike loses real fucking bad. And everyone in the car is like, what? Huh? What happened? So, the argument that if you're doing 130, 140, 150 miles an hour on a road in a sport bike, you're just going to go kill people other than yourself. I don't think there's a whole lot to that. You know, the physics involved, you know, barring the 1% outliers of like freak accidents, it really doesn't bear that out. You know, if you're in a 3,000-pound sports car doing 150 miles an hour and you nail someone, yeah, there's infinitely more kinetic energy involved in that, and it's going to transfer a hell of a lot more efficiently to the victim vehicle. And yeah, people are going to get hurt. That's why I'm probably much more reserved in a car, even a really fast car, than I am on a bike. For many reasons, but among them that. If I do hit someone, even if I hit them at speed, the only one who's going to the hospital or getting stuffed, excuse me, into a body bag is me. So, yeah. Felt like adding that to the pot. Oh, boy, it's getting cold. Even though it's like, how fucking cold is it? I don't know. It was 38 when I left. It's probably about 40 now. I think that was the forecast high. But all my fingers are like, fuck you. My throat is like, fuck you. My chest is fuck you. My kidneys are fuck you. Pretty much everything is fuck you. For the cold right now. So I think I'm going to call this the end of this video. Once again, I appreciate all the new subscribers. I hope you enjoy the channel and my videos. For everyone who's been here a while, I certainly appreciate your continued viewership, and I hope you like my dumb shit. And yeah, if you have a comment, if you have your own experience with cops or running from the cops or whatever, feel free to plunk it in the comments. And until next time, take it easy.